Welcome to Front Office Pros. I'm Steve and this is Joe. And today we had some huge news. We had a ton of trades just go down in the NFL. And so we're going to be talking about a bunch of them. Let's start off with wide receiver Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was traded from the Atlanta Falcons to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll say I've never seen these type of parameters with a deal as far as the NFL goes. But let's talk about it, Joe. What does this mean for Calvin Ridley?
Yeah, man, I'd be pretty excited if I had shares of Calvin Ridley for sure. I mean, going from a team with the Falcons who just aren't throwing the ball that many times there, and not sure what their quarterback situation is going to be going forward, to getting a chance to play with Trevor Lawrence. I know he's had his up and down this year, but at least there's stability there at quarterback with Jacksonville. Doug Peterson, I would assume, would have a plan for him on offense. So, I mean, things are looking good. I mean, like you said, it just was a shocking trade. I've never really seen a player that's like under suspension and then he's still getting traded under the suspension. So that part was interesting. But yeah, for Calvin Ridley though, this is great for fantasy, I think.
Yeah, pretty easy contract to get traded because right now his contract is told, and then next year he will play under what would have been his fifth-year option, and then is going to be a free agent after that. But to me, I'm with you. I mean, from a dynasty perspective, I'm ecstatic. I mean, this guy was you didn't know what you had with Calvin Ridley, honestly, and
Yeah.
this is a new lease on life for him. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but even for him to tweet out and say like Duval, like to me, like that is like, okay. Cause he was having some concerns even before he got suspended, like I think he stepped away, for a few games, his mental health related, it appeared. And so it's like to see the level of excitement, he needed a change of scenery. And so for him, I mean, if he is going to succeed being with Lawrence, I think he has the opportunity to be that, I don't know about number one, but maybe 1A, 1B, the way they're using Kirk. I think he can be a one. So I think overall, it's extremely exciting for Ridley.
Yeah, 100%, man. And like you mentioned, you don't know what his mental state was like with the Falcons, how he felt about the organization. Obviously, he gets suspended for betting on the Atlanta Falcons, ironically.
Oh, you mean the
But
Jaguars? Yeah, yeah.
well, no, there wasn't he betting on the Falcons when he got
Well, he
suspended,
was
or
betting on the Falcons, but it was actually the game that he was betting on was the Falcons Jaguars game.
oh wow, that's even better. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, now like you said, people might not read into that tweet too much, but hey, if he's tweeting out Duval and seems excited for Jacksonville, then probably a good chance that he's willing to play for them. And if he's excited, I'd expect big things from him then.
Let's talk about the Jaguars receivers. Let's see what do you think the impact is on them? Because I think the Falcons, I don't really know if he was in their plans anyway, so I don't really think it's much of a
Right.
conversation on that end. But for the Jaguars side of it, Marvin Jones, he's older. He's got a 1-year deal. He's gone. He'll be off the team next year. Then you got Christian Kirk, who had that mammoth contract, but they can get out of that after 2 years, counting this year. And same thing with Zay Jones. He got a big contract. He can get out of 2 years. So what do you think this means? And then Evan Ingram, if we talk about the tight end as well, he has a 1-year deal. So those are kind of the pass catchers in Jacksonville. How do you think they're affected by the addition of Calvin Ridley?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, kind of the writing on the wall, like you mentioned. A lot of those guys I don't expect to be back with Ridley, or maybe if they do, they're just coming on for a lesser role than they're probably having this year currently. Um, I mean, Kirk is the one guy who's got a multi-year deal, right? For them, he's going to be under contract. So, I mean, it's really going to be, um, Kirk and Ridley show here. And then whoever they decide, if they bring in someone else, or if it's some of these guys that are currently on the roster, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I could see if Kirk's cap hit and stuff is reasonable later on that they could get out of it 2 years from now. I could see them possibly if they really like him, and it seems like him and Trevor Lawrence have a good rapport. I could see them restructuring that contract. And I think it could be the Kirk and Ridley show. Now, Ridley may not work expecting him to come back, get reinstated, get involved. But as you can see, based on the parameters that Jacksonville has, laid out there as a part of the deal, they are able to possibly get out of that unscathed. If he ends up signing a deal with them, they got to give up a second round pick later on. But I think overall, I'm not too concerned. I mean, really, the Christian Kirk might have been really the only one. I mean, Ingram has been pretty good. He might not be on the team, though. I mean, it's really Lawrence, Etienne, Ridley, and Kirk really going forward, for the foreseeable future. And I think that's a pretty exciting core. I think it helps Lawrence for sure, having another weapon like Ridley on the field.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just watching the games, Kirk is, I think, possibly just meant to be a slot guy. So I do think they need to add somebody else to play on the outside for sure. But yeah, it's definitely exciting for Lawrence and that offense. I'd be there. To me, there's no reason not to be excited for Ridley. But I think they could bring Evan Ingram back in that offense. He's played well enough, and you give him a 1-year try-it deal, and I think if the coaching staff and organization likes their Ingram, he could possibly be back.
Yeah, I agree. So that was a breakdown of the trade for Calvin Ridley going from the Falcons to the Jaguars. We just thank you so much for watching. We are a new channel. We try to create several videos on a weekly basis. So if you're enjoying this content, please, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and give us a comment. Do you agree with what we're saying? Do you have any feedback or do you have any considerations? Go ahead and post a comment below. But if you have interest, we're going to be doing a ton of reaction videos, including you'll see one on the end screen. So click on them. And until next time.